3, 2, 1.
Thank you for joining us for the Welcome to the Hall podcast, courtesy of the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame and the El Paso Sports Commission. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best of the best from past inductees into your El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to thank you all for joining us. Again, this is a very special podcast courtesy of the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame, along with the support of the El Paso Sports Commission. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we have truly a legend in every manner of the word, and Miss Jody Conrad from the University of Texas, longtime women's basketball coach, Hall of Fame, Naismith, James Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame inductee as well. Next to her, we have, of course, Retha Swindell. Retha from Houston, Texas, but came to join us today as well. And Miss Swindell, the first black women's basketball player at the University of Texas, an unbelievable high school athlete, and also a representative of what the greatness is when you play at the University of Texas in athletics. Then we have Uella Munn, an El Paso native, and of course nobody can ever doubt how great she is in the world of basketball as well. And thank you, Uella, for joining us also. And then Dr. Stein. Dr. Scott Stein is our president for the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame for this year. And Dr. Stein, if you'll kick it off and just welcome all the people, and thank you as well, sir.
Thank you, Wayne. I want to welcome everybody, and what an honor it is to have these special people in town. It's just been awesome. Today was really fun to listen to Coach Conrad coach, and coach, I wish, to listen to her speak. And we're just so privileged in El Paso to have this going on today. And Uella getting inducted this year is way long overdue. I'm just happy it's finally happening, and I appreciate everybody for showing up today. Hook 'em horns.
Ms. Conrad, of course, we talked earlier when you mentioned the fact that women's basketball, when you first started coaching at the University of Texas, it evolved in many different ways, obviously. But at that time, it was kind of different, too, because the junior college and the small schools were the ones that really had all the resources to succeed at that time.
You're exactly right. I think that the smaller schools actually use women's basketball to recruit students. It was part of their strategy. We can have teams, and people will be attracted to come to our campuses, and therefore they had really good players. And it was really hard initially for a university like Texas to compete against teams that have been playing for several years and actually had scholarships to give to basketball players.
And Uella Munn, of course, came to you from Temple Junior College, and it was kind of special at that time. The junior colleges were really powerful at that time, too.
I think that was the case in most instances where either Wayland Baptist College, a small NAIA school, or junior colleges had developed their programs, and they were far advanced from the Power 5 conferences that we know today. So, yes, it was opportunity to recruit really great players. Uella Munn was one of those. This is her day. We've celebrated her, and she was as talented as any player that I've ever coached, but she had not been recognized for that superior talent because there was not much publicity or not much opportunity for people to know what was going on in girls basketball. So Uella and her teammate Retha Swindell, who is here today as well, they were the foundation of the building of the program at the University of Texas. And their contribution can never be downplayed because without their commitment, their passion, and their extraordinary skill, we would not have been able to build a successful program.
Dr. Stein?
What are y'all's feelings on the transition in women's sports from when y'all played and coached till today? Like, how has everything, it's changed tremendously, besides the rules in basketball, obviously, but what about everything else? How do you guys feel about how everything is going?
Well, I was at the Final Four in Dallas this year, and it was amazing. The crowd, the TV, it was amazing. And compared to when we first started out, it was in Gregory Gym for me.
I remember Gregory.
I think there was just probably a couple of people up there. You could hear their conversations. You know? So it's come a long way, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, very excited.
I think for me, what I learned back then from Coach Conrad and her coaching staff, we learned fundamentals better than these kids today, because watching the Final Four, some of the things that they did, I'm like, we did that and we did it better. And had that been us, we would have changed, to this defense. We would have, pulled it up, moved it back, did whatever. So we got fundamentals, and that has stuck with me forever.
Yeah, that's where it starts.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Early on, if you were boy or girl growing up and starting to play basketball, you went to a summer camp where the thing that was stressed was learn the fundamentals. Let's work on the individual skills, and the playing of the game will come later. We've sort of lost that in our game, and I think it's been to our detriment, because now young people sign up in the summer to go play on a travel team. They don't work on skills. They just want to play the game. And we're sort of suffering the consequences of not having those drills and those fundamentals and the opportunity to do repetitive things until you mastered the skill. So that's one of the big changes, and that's a really good one that Ewella pointed out. So everything might be better in some areas, but I think the summer basketball and how much young people play and how little regard there is to anything other than playing and the score sometimes works against our developing the kinds of skills that players really need.
Yeah, I think so too.
And Rita, tell us about the fact, because Coach Conrad mentioned earlier about you got an academic scholarship as opposed to an athletic scholarship, because that was the opportunity that they had at that time when you went to the University of Texas. What was it like being recruited to go big time out of high school at that time?
Well, it was exciting. Rodney Page came to my high school. He was in a Corvette, and everybody on campus knew he was there. And so it was exciting to be recruited. But I knew about the athletic scholarship. The academic scholarship because of athletics. So it still was a big play. He had told one of my teachers there, and the counselor knew that Texas was going to be awarding academic scholarships, like 100, I think, for minority students at that time, and told me to apply, and I did, and I was awarded the scholarship, and so it was exciting. And once Jody got there, it was the change there. It's like, are you going to still play? Because with that achievement scholarship, I didn't have to play ball, and so it was kind of a decision to make, loyalties and that kind of thing. But overall, I think we all agree that everybody, including Rodney, is glad I played, and it all turned out the way I think it should.
I'm really glad you played.
Ewella, today was your day, as Coach Conrad said. What was it like?
Awesome. I couldn't have envisioned it being this well put together, and the turnout to show El Paso strong, El Paso hospitality. Thank you all.
It was a long time coming, but,
Yes,
in some ways, time passed. All of that did not diminish at all your accomplishments here. And we're probably in an environment now where people can recognize that excellence, maybe more than they could have when all of that was happening. And certainly leaving high school and then making a huge impact at the University of Texas, all of that amplifies your accomplishments, what you mean to the sport, and how special you are as a person. So thanks for including us. Thanks for sharing today with us. And El Paso is just a very special place.
Thank you. Coach, did you ever have the chance to meet Coach Haskins?
I did not meet Coach Haskins. I very well remember the history and the significance of what he did at UTEP then, and followed along with the story as it was passed on down through time. And as I mentioned earlier, I actually referenced that when we played in Kentucky for the national championship in 1986. I mentioned to the team that was the same arena, the same floor, where the first team with 5 black starters played and won a national championship. I did not want our team to let that opportunity pass without recognizing the significance of what Coach Haskins did and how brave he was to step out and make that kind of statement.
I might be mistaken, but I want to say he coached girls high school basketball. Did he, Wayne?
At the beginning, yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yes, in Headley, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And he drove the school bus, too.
Oh, that's right. One of you guys was talking about that. You weren't lying about driving the bus.
Right.
Rita, was this your first time to El Paso?
Yes, I've passed through on my way to other places, but I'm proud to say that I love El Paso, and mine. It's great to be here be part of your recognition. I'm just excited to be here, and I'm excited for you.
Thank you. It's
As
just
we get ready
uplifting.
go ahead, Luella.
It's uplifting. I just feel happy today. I really do. This is a blessing. It
So
really
we get
is.
ready to wrap it up. Rita, tell us about the program you're involved with back home. It's pretty interesting.
I'm a board member of Legends of the Ball, Inc., the Women's Basketball League that mine was drafted to. That she didn't play. It lasted 3 years. And we were inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2018. And so at that event, there 12 of us started a nonprofit called Legends of the Ball, Inc., and it's made up of just all the players there. And because most of us that played there were part of Title IX, we were all at the beginning of Title IX. And with Title IX just happening, the 50-year anniversary just happening, we played a very significant role in just kind of letting people know who we were, what the WBL was, and just the significance of, how many people that were in the league are coaches, and just the influence they have outside the league in basketball and in general. So we're going strong.
That's awesome. That's very good. Do you guys, in closing, y'all have I know you had a million games, but do you have one memorable game that always sticks out in your memory?
At Temple, that game against mine. The first game in the Drum, they almost beat us. I still have the article, it's like, it was a great significance for just the history of the game there in Austin.
The Irwin Center opened in 1977, and when it was built, no one thought that there was going to be a women's team playing in the Irwin Center. They weren't prepared. The locker rooms all had urinals in them. So we're talking about a different era, and we're talking about establishing a program from the ground up. And we celebrated the closing of the Irwin Center last season, and it will be torn down and area will become a part of the med school. And as we moved into our new arena, we had a celebration of the last game to be played in the Irwin Center. And it was my hope that Iwella could come back and score the last basket in the Irwin Center, but because she's been such a wonderful and thoughtful daughter and takes care of her mother so sincerely, we couldn't make that happen. But we did do an interview, we did have some pictures, and her voice talking about that first game and that first basket. As men do sometimes, they like to think they played the first and the last game in the Irwin Center, but that was not true. We played a prelim to their game, which was the first game, and then we played a playoff game in the Irwin Center after their season ended. So there was a little revisionist history there, which happens sometimes, but we really know the real story, and it was women's basketball that kicked off the Irwin Center and ultimately closed it.
All right. What was the shot? A layup? The first shot?
No,
Nope, it was a little jump
little
shot.
jump shot.
Really?
Little jump shot. And that's probably.
And you know where it was on the court?
Yeah, driving down the left side line.
We had it
Pull
all
up.
ready to
Yeah,
tape it
for
and
sure.
go.
And I didn't
that's
know the
awesome.
significance of
Right.
it until way after that. And that's probably my most memorable one.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, and it just worked out that she ultimately played at the University of Texas. If she'd gone somewhere else, we might not remember that game with the same fondness as we do.
Right.
That's true.
Very cool.
And we want to thank Mayor Oscar Lisa presenting you, Ms. Conrad, with the key to the city. That was very special.
I don't think I've ever been given the key to a city by a mayor who showed up impromptu to have a celebration of basketball today. So El Paso is at the top of my list in terms of hospitality and how people came and how welcoming they were. So my thanks to this city.
And well, congratulations on your Hall of Fame ring as well with Marion Bennett and, of course,
Looks good.
all of them helping out to
Thank
make that
you.
happen for you, too.
Thank you, and thank you for everything you, Marion, Dr. Stein, everyone did. Thank you, Rita. I'm glad you got to see, you and Coach Conrad, our city. So
I'm
thank you
excited
as well.
for you.
Dr. Stein?
And
Thanks
I really thank you guys for coming in.
So
I
much.
just would appreciate you all. And, of course, being a Texas X, I'm psyched for today.
Hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em.
I'd like to thank Ace along with Mondo for doing this and making it possible with this podcast. And again, for the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame and the El Paso Sports Commission, thank you very much. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, stay nice as rice and mellow as jello. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.